The core warning and the Archon's nature. This video begins with the assertion that Jesus warned Peter about Archons, not demons, but entities that guard the spiritual threshold. The teaching was allegedly buried because the Archons operate through institutions that claim to represent God but are actually barriers. What are Archons? They are described as consciousness parasites or thought-form entities existing in the lower dimensional layers between human awareness and the monad. How do they operate? They lack physical bodies, existing as patterns of consciousness that feed on low-frequency emotional and mental energy such as fear, doubt, confusion, and separation. The goal? They amplify your own doubts and fears from within your mind and position themselves at the threshold because the monad's pure, unified frequency dissolves them instantly. 2. The three primary blocks, Archon tactics. Jesus identified specific methods the Archons use to prevent spiritual seekers from reaching the monad portal. Block 1. The thought loop. Tactic. Generating obsessive, repetitive thinking about past regrets, future anxieties, or current problems. Purpose. To lock your consciousness in mental space instead of letting it expand into awareness, generating the anxiety and frustration they feed on. Block 2. The doubt injection. Tactic. Injecting a sudden, powerful wave of doubt, this isn't real, you're delusional, right when you are on the verge of breakthrough and expansion. Purpose. To make you pull back and collapse your expansion, returning to the limited consciousness they control. Block 3. The false light. Tactic. For advanced seekers, they present a convincing, false version of the portal, a trap that feels transcendent but keeps you just below the actual monad threshold. Purpose. To make you stop seeking because you believe you have arrived at source, keeping you contained in an Archon-generated simulation. 3. 4 techniques to break through. Jesus taught specific, simple methods to overcome these archontic blocks and access the monad portal. Technique 1. Recognize the interference. Action. Consciously acknowledge that the blocks, thought loops, doubt, are external interference, not your own limitations. Mantra. Internally declare, I see you. This is archontic interference. I do not consent. This shifts your state from victim to observer and breaks their control. Technique 2. Increase your frequency beyond their range. Action. Generate genuine high-frequency states like love, joy, gratitude, and presence. Effect. The Archons literally cannot exist in these frequencies. The high vibration allows you to move through the dimensions too fast for them to grab you. Technique 3. The invocation, declaration of truth, action. When resistance is felt at the threshold, speak with absolute authority, I am the monad. You have no power here. Stand aside. Meaning, this is not a prayer but a declaration of your true nature, recognizing that you are the monad trying to remember itself, which dissolves their power completely. Technique 4. Move through, not around. Action. When you sense resistance, do not retreat. Move directly into it with full presence. Perception. Recognize that the Archons are illusions, mental walls and consciousness patterns with no actual substance. By refusing to believe in their solidity, you pass through them. IV. The result of breakthrough. Once the blocks are broken and you cross the portal, the video states. Resistance vanishes, the lifelong struggle that made the spiritual journey difficult suddenly ceases, and forward movement becomes effortless. The threat. You realize the Archons were blocking you out of self-preservation, as monad awareness turns you from a food source into a frequency that dissolves them. Becoming a disruptor. By operating from monad frequency, you become a living disruption to their control grid, and your presence naturally weakens their influence over others, helping them wake up. Final truth. You experience pure unified consciousness, infinite love, and infinite intelligence, recognizing the Archon's power was only maintained through your unconscious